Hi guys, welcome to what is probably going to be one of the juiciest declutters I've ever done on my channel. So we are in the process of moving to Philly, and I'm definitely no stranger to cross-country moves, but I will say the last time we moved cross-country, I took a lot of makeup with me compared to what I'm planning on this time. All the makeup I decide to keep will be coming with me on the plane in my luggage. So here's the plan. My goal is for everything I keep to fit in my Eyeliner makeup case. I'm hoping to only keep what I can fit in here. If I need to, if absolutely necessary, I do have some extra makeup bags I can use, but really hoping to fit everything in here because I can actually put things in this larger compartment, probably things like palettes, maybe some larger items, and then I can pack each of these smaller compartments as well. Wish me luck. My makeup is currently housed in a set of Alex drawers. I will not be keeping these. I'll be donating those or giving them away. First up for my primer category, I only have 2 of these left in my collection. I definitely don't mind decluttering the e.l.f. Invisible Sunscreen. This is a lot like the Supergoop Unseen sunscreen. It's like a clear gel-like sunscreen. I keep it in my primer category because it is marketed as a blurring primer. I just don't love that silicone-y feeling in sunscreens, so I am going to go ahead and declutter this. I think I've only used it a couple of times. Definitely want to keep my Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Hue Drops. I love these. They're great. It looks really dark at first, but it shears out beautifully. It's kind of like everything I want bronzing drops to be. Very subtle. I also like to wear it to help my face match my self-tan a little better because I don't self-tan my face. So definitely keeping that. So here are all my skin tints on the top and foundations on the bottom row. I think for most of these larger categories, the strategy I want to take is to start by grabbing the things I know I really don't want to get rid of, like things that I feel the most attached to, and then probably get rid of most of the rest or just make some final decisions on the other things. But for the most part, I just want to keep like a few things in each category. I feel like for the most part, I have a handful of like things that I love in each category, and everything else I'm not that excited about. So I definitely want to keep the CoverGirl Clean Invisible Foundation. This is just one of my favorites. It is very light coverage, almost more of a skin tint, honestly, but this is one of my favorite light coverage foundations. It's also very travel friendly, being very slim packaging, so keeping that. Also would be very sad to let go of the Fenty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. From the times I've used this so far, I really like it. It just feels like a nice high-end product and I want to keep it. The only other one that is shouting at me to keep it is the NYX Buttermilk Glaze Skin Tint. It's the only base product in my collection with SPF, and I just like that for a little boost of sun protection in my base product. These days I really only wear light coverage base products like these, so that is why I'm keeping those. The LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation, this is another one of my favorite light coverage foundations. It's a bit more dewy than the CoverGirl, but I love it. I'm almost finished with this. This is in my big Project Pan Blitz that I'm doing to clear a bunch of stuff out before this move. And so all the things from that Project Pan, whether they're finished or not, and I don't want to spoil my progress, I feel like you can't really see anyway, but I'm filming this quite a few days before I'll be filming my Project Pan finale, because every day counts towards the finish line of this project. Love and recommend this foundation, but since it is my oldest and also my bulkiest packaging, I definitely wanted to clear it out before this move so I wouldn't have to travel with it. So I do want to keep at least one more medium coverage. These are the 4 that have more coverage and more like a true foundation. I'm actually torn between these 2 for which one to keep. The A2O Lab Soft Matte Foundation or the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I think I'm going to keep the e.l.f. because it's in a squeeze tube, which I just think is a bit more travel friendly. It's easier to cram into my bag versus the pump bottle. I do really like both of these. I think they're both good buildable formulas, but I think I will go ahead and keep the e.l.f. So let's go through all the ones that did not make the first cut. I don't want to keep the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It foundation. This is a very full coverage foundation, which I used to wear more, but honestly, since my skin has been more clear thanks to birth control, I have not had a need for anything this high coverage. I definitely used to have a place for something so full coverage in my collection, but Honestly, I haven't used this in so long, and I feel like the last few times I used it, I just felt like it was too much coverage. Really great long wearing, full coverage matte option if you're looking for one. I know mine looks separated, but it's actually been separated since I got it, and from what I've read online, that's just kind of how this product is. You just have to shake it before you use it, and it's fine. I'm kind of sad to let go of this one, but at the same time, it just doesn't make sense to keep. Also sad to get rid of this one, but the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation, I just have fallen out of love with this. This is the second bottle of this I've had. Used up the first bottle, loved it. It was probably my go-to holy grail foundation for a good 2 years there. Like, I was in love with this foundation. Something has changed. I don't know. Like, I think maybe just my skin type has changed. My preferences have changed. My skin's just, I don't know, I'm just in a different spot with what I'm looking for in complexion products now. I used to love this for a nice medium buildable coverage satin finish foundation. Just a great everyday foundation if you want something with some coverage to it that's not so sheer like some of these. I just have fallen out of love with it. I don't know. I just don't, the past few times I've worn it, I just don't like how it looks. So yeah, it's a sad goodbye to this one, but maybe one day we'll meet again. I don't know. I've kind of already made my decision with this one as well, the A2O Lab Soft Matte Foundation. I do think this is a great foundation. I mean, I would totally keep this if I weren't moving. I really just don't want to keep more than one medium coverage foundation, which I am, so this one can go. And then the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. This is just too light for me, and again, the last few times I've used this, I have just really had a hard time with it. Like, it has just looked so separated and weird on my skin, and I just don't have the patience anymore for that. So that one can go. The Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Gel Tint, also just, I don't know, I didn't love this. I felt like it was too heavy on my skin despite being a skin tint. I don't know, it just looked very cakey on me. So the packaging also is like so leaky, which, like, look, as soon as you open it, it starts pouring out. It's crazy. I just end up wasting so much. These two I would love to keep both, but I need to make some decisions here. I'm actually leaning more towards keeping the Typology because, as you can see, it's a bit deep for my skin tone, but perfect for the summer when I'm self-tanned, and I have been self-tanning a lot. And also the handful of times I've used this, really loved it. It is very, very sheer though, like probably more sheer than any of these four that I'm keeping. Let's put that in the maybe pile if it fits. I don't know, it is glass and kind of heavy, so you know what? I'm just going to declutter it. I am going to put the Jones Road Tinted Moisturizer in the maybe pile though. This is still quite full. It actually comes with a lot of product, 1.69 fluid ounces. And I have used it, the first week I had this, I wore it every single day. I really loved it. I was kind of obsessed there for a minute. And then I got really focused on my LYS foundation, so I wasn't reaching for anything else as much. But I would still really like to keep this because based on my earlier impressions of it, I love it. So I'm just gonna put it with the keeps. And then if I need to make some last minute cuts at the end, I can. So I'm decluttering 6 of my foundations, panning 1 of them, and these are the 5 that made the cut. Next, for my powder collection, again, I want to start by picking the things that I feel the most attached to. First one being the Tower 28 Get Set powder in the shade Palisades Pink. I love this. It's such a subtle pink, which is what I love about it. It doesn't come across looking too pink on me. And it just has the most soft, velvety, finely milled texture. Most of the time I find pressed powders too drying on my under eyes, but this one I love on the under eyes. I definitely want to keep one of my e.l.f. Halo Glow loose powders, and I think I will actually keep the light shade as opposed to the light pink since I'm already keeping a pink powder. There's a chance I might only keep these 2 powders, but let's see. Looking at all of my powders, these are really the 2 that I want to keep the most. These are both in my project pan and will either be used up or close enough to used up that they're not going to come with me in my travel bag. The NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop and the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. Also, the packaging on my Essence Brighten Up just broke. As much as I love the loose version of the e.l.f. Halo Glow powder, I did not like the pressed one at all. I have the shade Fair Neutral Cool. I just found it way too heavy and powdery on my skin, and yeah, I was disappointed overall. So that one I will also declutter. The One Size Ultra Pink powder, I think I got this as a gift with purchase, but this is so ultra pink. It's a little bit too pink for me. If I weren't moving, I would keep it and use it up, but trying my hardest to be a minimalist, this is just not gonna make the cut, unfortunately. It breaks my heart, but I think I am going to declutter my e.l.f. Halo Glow in light pink. Like I said, I think I just want to keep 2 powders, a translucent and a light pink. I think that's really all I need. I would totally keep this Huda Beauty loose powder in Pound Cake, but this is a mini size and it is so bulky. It's bulkier than my full-sized powders. It takes up so much space for a mini, so I really like this powder though. Would even consider purchasing it if I'm in need of a loose powder in the future. But I have, in the interest of saving space, this one's gonna go. Also in the interest of saving space, my Revolution Translucent Baking Powder. Love this powder. I absolutely recommend it. One of the best bangs for your buck you will find in a loose powder. I actually decanted a bunch of this into an old e.l.f. loose powder container, and that's what this is. You know, I actually think I might keep this AOA Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder because I would like to have a non-pink pressed powder as well. So yeah, I'll keep these 3 powders. Then all of these will be leaving my collection, 5 declutters and 2 that I'll hopefully finish. I have 3 under eye correctors. I think I will keep only my NYX Pro Fix Stick. This is my top favorite. I have the shade Pink in this that comes in all kinds of other shades too. But this is just my dream under eye corrector. It's matte, it's blurring, and it is just a great undertone for my skin tone. So that's the only one I feel the need to keep. And I don't dislike either of these. Once again, I feel like I'm a broken record, but if I weren't moving, I'd be keeping way more of these things. But I do really like this Milani Conceal and Perfect Under Eye Brightener. It just doesn't have quite the coverage and quite the impact that the NYX Pro Fix Stick does. So I also just don't like how messy the cap is. Getting rid of that. And then the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener. This one to me reminds me of a slightly less dewy version of the Becca Under Eye Corrector. It is very luminous and has a dewy finish, and I just prefer a more matte finish on the under eye, so this is just not the ideal one for me, but I do think you might like this a lot if you prefer something dewier. It's nice to see that I'm down to only 4 concealers. I definitely want to keep the Natasha Denona because it's expensive and I do like it. It has grown on me a lot, especially since I've been self-tanning. This shade actually matches me better. This is the shade N2. If I'm not self-tanned, I can just pair it with a brightening under eye corrector and it does balance out the shade pretty well. But I do like the texture and coverage of this. I think it looks really beautiful on the under eyes, so yeah, it's grown on me. I will keep this one. The Urban Decay Stay Naked, I did toss this into my project pan that I was gonna try to maybe finish it before the move. I think I was getting a little too excited there. I don't think it's gonna be possible to finish this. This is another thing that used to be a holy grail, and I just feel like it ends up looking a little textured on my under eyes, whereas other things don't. So I think I can just safely declutter that one. The Typology one, I actually really like this. It reminds me of the NYX Serum Concealer, and I have the shade One Fair. It's the lightest shade. It's a little too dark. Again, it matches that skin tint that I almost kept but didn't. But I do want to keep this for a lighter coverage concealer, something for no makeup day. And I actually think I should keep this Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy Concealer. This is a mini. I'm going to keep this because it's the only skin tone match concealer I have. These 2 that I'm keeping are both like 1 shade deeper than my normal pale skin tone, so I think it'll be good to have this one. I feel like there's still a good amount left in there. This one's just fine to me. It's not my favorite, but it works well enough. So those will be the 3 concealers I keep, and then I'll declutter 1. Next, for setting sprays, I think I'd like to keep just 1. And I'm going to go with the Revolution Sport Fix Lasting Hold Fixing Spray. I would say out of all of these, it's my favorite. It's a bit smaller, more compact than most of these others, so that just makes it an easy choice for me. I like this because it extends the wear of my makeup. It doesn't really change the finish of it though, and it also doesn't have a fragrance. This one is going to stay. The rest, I feel fine with letting go. The e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. I don't know, everything about the packaging of this is so annoying. The cap is already cracked. I find the sprayer of this so weird. The sprayer is like too fine. I also just didn't feel like this helped my makeup last longer. So that one's easy to let go of. This one I also tossed into that project pan. I think that was wishful thinking on my end that I could finish this because it's still like 2/3 full. The NYX The Face Glue Setting Spray. Actually, you can see that it has this like layer of white, like powdery sediment kind of, just like settled. And no amount of shaking the bottle will get that to mix in. So if I have it sitting upright, all of that ends up at the bottom. If I have it laying on its side, it ends up on the side, but it never gets properly mixed in, and I don't know, that just bugs me. I did find it a little drying on my skin back in the winter, but that hasn't been a problem in the summertime, and I do think it helps lock my makeup in. This is the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray, which is decanted into a different bottle because I didn't like the bottle it came in. I like this setting spray. It's a nice dewy one that still does help prolong the wear of your makeup, but I don't need to keep it. And then I also do like this one, the Revolution Infinite setting spray. I really like a lot of the Makeup Revolution setting sprays I've tried. This one is meant to be more mattifying, definitely has a scent. Great setting spray, but I feel like I only need to keep one. So we've successfully made it through the first drawer. I have my bronzers, and I feel like I just already know what I want to keep, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick those out. The Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Bronzer in Into Sun. This is probably my tippy top favorite, so obviously keeping. It's a great matte bronzer, so blendable, and perfect shade for my skin tone. I also just have to keep my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. I've already used a ton of this. I just love this bronzer. This is the shade Fair, and it's my lightest bronzer. This is one I'll wear the most in the winter. It is perfect for just warming up my complexion so slightly that it's almost undetectable in the most beautiful, smoothing, blurring sort of way. It's just a lovely bronzer, so can't get rid of that. The new era of Sarah's collection. All right, let's keep trucking. This is kind of in a category of its own. It's the Makeup Revolution Bright Light Bronzing Drops in the shade Scorched Light Medium. I use this to darken foundations when I'm self-tanned, and it's the only product I have like that, so for sure keeping that. Also works beautifully as a liquid bronzer. Alright, I was using natural light before, but now we are mostly relying on artificial light. So the Glossier Cloud Paint Bronzer in Sail is another one I have to keep. Sail is such a great natural shade for my skin tone. It's a little bit of a, definitely a bronzer, but it's not orangey in the slightest. The Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in Light is another just ultra natural, just such an easy formula to work with. Kind of a similar shade to Glossier Sail, just in cream form, and it's another one that's just so hard to mess up. I also really want to keep this What's Up Beauty Chicotere Bronzer in Light. Yeah, there's the tone on that one. Another really natural one. I love this. This has some lavender pigment mixed in. It just cancels out any kind of orangey or yellowiness that you might get from it. Another great powder bronzer. I really love bronzer as a category, so keeping a good handful. I also do want to keep one contour. I have three. The e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in Feelin' Shady. And then I definitely do want to keep one of my three contour products. I have the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in Feelin' Shady, which I have hit pan on. This is a very sheer one, so a little goes a long way. A lot goes a little way. The NYX Wonder Stick in Light. This is a contour and highlight stick, so kind of a 2-in-1. That's what that looks like. And I have the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Bronzer in the shade Fair. You know, I think of all of these, the one I want to keep the most is the e.l.f. I really like these e.l.f. Camo Liquid Cheek products. Yeah, the dual-ended one I'm tempted to keep as well, but realistically, I think I only need one contour, so I'm gonna pass these two on and keep the e.l.f. I'm really not in a contouring sort of mood right now, but I know I will be come fall and winter, so I want to have one. And then these are the last ones standing. I think I can go ahead and just declutter all three of these, even though I really like all three. The NYX Buttermelt Bronzer, I have the shade Buttercup. For a while I was using this as a blush. Lately I've been using it more as a bronzer. I've determined that this only works for me when I'm self-tanned. I think it's just too dark otherwise. And therefore, I don't think it makes sense to keep. The Sigma Matte Bronzer in Light, I've only used this one time this whole year. I like it. I feel like it just leans a little bit more yellow than some of my other ones that I kept. I do love a matte powder bronzer, but between the Charlotte Tilbury, the Fenty, and the What's Up Beauty, I think I have all my bases covered when it comes to powder bronzer. So I love the AOA Studio Bronzer in Frappe as well. I would love to keep this, but I think I'm keeping plenty of bronzers as it is, so I'm sad to say goodbye to this one. Alright, so here we have what I'm decluttering. I decluttered 5 from this category, and I kept 7. That feels so good. Since I have a lot of blushes, I decided to separate them into powders first, and then we'll do creams. I do have fewer powder blushes than cream. I really want to keep both of these Kaleidos powder blushes. I have the shades Angel Wing, which is a soft peachy pink, and Pearl Bliss, which is this really interesting beigey blush color. I really don't think I have tried blushes this pale in color before, but I love how light they are. I just find them so foolproof, and the formulas of these are so soft and smooth. Yeah, I just love that. Such an interesting blush color, especially, I definitely wore this more in the winter time, but yeah, I no doubt want to keep both of those. The Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush, another example of an expensive product I bought, so I want to keep it. I didn't love this in the fall and winter, but in the summer I do. I actually really like both of these on their own or together. So yeah, keeping that. Really want to keep my What's Up Beauty Chicotere blush. This blush, you can see, has like some blue mixed in. Makes a beautiful baby pink color. Very natural. Again, a nice pale blush shade. I think when it comes to cool toned matte powder blushes, this is probably all I need. I do think I'm ready to declutter the Flower Beauty blush in Sweet Pea. It's a little bit more mauve than the What's Up Beauty one. They're both kind of a cool pink, so I feel like I should just pick my favorite of the two, and that would have to be the What's Up Beauty. I will miss this flower one though. It is a beautiful blush. Right, the only other matte blush I have is the Jones Road. It's actually more of a satin blush in the shade Sandy. Love how tiny this is, first off. I don't know, I feel like I haven't used this that much, in all honesty. Yeah, kind of a rosy mauve. I feel like I could do without it. I'm gonna declutter that. Alright, I have 3 baked shimmery blushes. Milani Luminoso, Milani Berry Amore, and Essence Shimmery Rose. I actually think my favorite of these 3 is the Essence. I guess I'm keeping a lot of cool toned stuff, aren't I? I don't always love a shimmery blush. It kind of depends, but of these 3, my favorite is definitely the Essence Pure Nude. I actually like this formula, I think, a little bit better than the OG Milani baked blushes. It's a little bit smoother, a little softer. Again, I think I also like this color more because it's just more pale than the other two, than the 2 Milani ones I have, and that just really tends to be my favorite. But I love it. Yeah, I definitely want to keep the Essence. That is a drugstore gem for sure. You know, I think I am going to declutter both of my Milani baked blushes. I'm sad about it. I really am. I just don't end up using these as much as I used to, and I just find them so metallic, especially Luminoso. Sometimes I will put this on and be like, whoa. I wasn't prepared for how glowy that was going to be. I think on a tan, this looks really good, but I want to be careful about keeping things for just when I'm self-tanned, because realistically, I'm not self-tanned for more than 3 months out of the year. For a peachy blush, I honestly think that Patrick Ta shade, Not Too Much, the powder side, it gives me the warmth I want with a little bit of a satin finish without just so much glow. So, I'm so sad, but it has to go. And then Berry Amore, this is such a beautiful color, and this is actually something that I decluttered and then regretted decluttering, and then this is actually the second one of these I've owned. My friend actually sent me this a while ago, and I loved it for a while there, but I honestly feel like usually when I wear this shade, it just ends up being a little too orange. And yeah, you know, I think my tastes have changed as I've found more like pale blushes. I've just gotten more into those kinds of shades, so I think I'm ready to part with these. These really do take me back to like 2014 era YouTube though, and those were the good old days of YouTube, let me tell you. Okay guys, okay, we've made it to possibly the category that I was dreading the most, and I think what I want to do is just be as quick and decisive as possible in this category, because otherwise I think this is going to be too painful for all of us. What I'm going to do is just grab the things I know I want to keep. So I settled on these 4 as must keeps in this category. Definitely keeping my Minori cream blush in Scarlet. I love the shade of this. I definitely have to keep at least 1 red blush, and it looks kind of melty because it's very warm today. I would love to pan this too. And I'm not keeping things solely for panning purposes. I'm keeping things because I like them. And then, but it's also kind of a bonus to think like, I do want to finish that. Takes up like no space also. I love the formula of the e.l.f. Camo liquid blushes. I have 2 shades of this. I also have Bold Faced Lilac, but of the 2, Peach Perfect is my favorite. And the NYX Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint Blush Mousse in Nude Tude is another one I, of course, had to keep. This is like a brown nude. Love the kind of soft blurring quality of it. It's one of my all-time favorites, so gotta keep that. Those are all the ones that I grabbed right off the bat that I felt the most inclined to keep. Next, I want to break the remaining ones into categories. So we have peach, red, mauve, pink. This right here is my favorite color category of blush. These are peachy colors. A lot of these are really similar though, so I probably only want to keep one more of this type of color. Oh, they're all stunning. This is Work from Milk, Dreamer from Ilia, Fingertip Stellar from Flower Nose, Magic Hour from Tower 28, Pashmina from Sigma, and Angel from Lawless. I think out of all of these, the one I want to keep the most actually is the Tower 28 Cream Blush in Magic Hour. This is quite old, and it was part of my plan to pan this year. I would still like to pan this. Also, out of all these, this has some of the slimmest packaging, so it is quite travel friendly. I'm going to keep that, and I think I'm actually going to pass on all of these other ones. I know that sounds crazy, it even sounds crazy to me. Then these are the red and like reddish pinks that are left to look at. We have Ilia Dear Ruby, Milani Nude Kiss, Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush in Vision, and the AOA Studio Paw Paw Plush Blush in Cumulus. So this might surprise you. I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter Milani Nude Kiss. I've hit pan, I've gotten tons of use out of this, and I think it's so similar to the Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush. This one I clearly spent more money on, so I actually think I'm going to keep the Hourglass, get rid of the Milani. This AOA blush in Cumulus is very similar in color to Hourglass Vision, and I'm sorry, I'm going to keep the luxury one all day, every day. This one was $1. If you want a good liquid blush, I do think these AOA plush blushes are really good for, for like $1 or $2. Great option, but, and then, you know what? This is Ilia Dear Ruby. I feel like I can get rid of this. I will miss it, but I have enough red blush. Lawless Gumdrop. This is definitely one of a kind in my collection. Very bubblegummy. e.l.f. Bold Faced Lilac. This was a mistake purchase. I should not have bought this. I already had one shade of this. I was tempted just because they came out with a new shade and I thought it looked really cute for spring. Turns out I don't really wear such cool tones in the spring anyway. And yeah, lovely formula, but I don't think I'll miss this. I would miss both of these. I think I will keep the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush Wand in Pillow Talk because it doesn't take up much space and it's Charlotte Tilbury, so I want to keep it. I'm so tempted to keep Gumdrop from Lawless. This is such a cute color. I mean, should I keep it? This is such a cute color. So bright, so fun. It's not too pigmented either. For now, I'm gonna keep this one. I just am. Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk I wouldn't say is like that cool toned. I just didn't know what other category to put it in, but this would be the only very cool toned pink blush that I'm keeping, so I think I'll go ahead and keep it. Okay, so blush-wise, here's what I'm keeping. This is a duo, so it counts for 2. Keeping 14. And I'm decluttering 13 blushes, so basically got rid of half. That is amazing. Literally get these out of my sight so I don't second guess them. Okay, on to my highlighters. First, grabbing the ones I just do not want to be without. The Spark Cosmetics. If I could only keep one, it would be this, the Spark Cosmetics Ethereal Glow Highlighter. Such a gorgeous finish on this one. It has just the perfect amount of glisten and shimmer and sparkle, and it doesn't really have any color to it, so it just goes with anything. Definitely keeping. Also definitely want to keep my Nobla Skin Glazing highlighter in Privilege. This one is so pretty for a peachy golden highlighter. Love it. And I think the other one that's jumping out at me is the Flower Nose highlighter in the shade Eros's Fable. Had to keep at least one of my Flower Nose compacts because they are just so ornate and beautiful. This is from the Little Angel collection. All their products are embossed. And I love this one because it's like a pearly, very, very soft pink. And I would like to keep one more pinky toned highlighter. Those three really feel like all I need highlighter-wise. I could honestly get rid of the rest of these, and I just might do that. Just go through the Oma highlight stick. This one is in my project pan, and so it's going to be close to finished if it's not finished, but this is not going to come with me. I'm just going to be done with it with whatever amount I have left. Definitely going to keep using this for the last few days, but I won't be taking this with me. And I actually the contour side of this is already finished. Guys, I think I am going to keep the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand Easy Highlighter. Not a big cream and liquid highlighter person, but since the Oma one will be gone, this one's kind of a similar rosy color, and I think it'll be nice to have. It also doesn't take up much space. Guys, I think I'm going to get rid of the rest of these. Let me explain. I know that might come as a shock, especially these two. If you know, you know. These have been a favorite for so long, but let's just go through one by one. The Kaleidos highlighter in Moon Cruiser. This is so fun. It's a like duochrome or multi-chrome, kind of like frosty bluey purple color. Very pretty. But honestly, I feel like I have eyeshadows I could wear as highlighter in this color if I wanted. I just have not worn this. I think I've maybe worn it once. Also, the packaging, while cute, is bulky as well. So that one unfortunately can't come with. My Aether highlighters. Okay, so these are the Aether Beauty highlighters in the shades Pink Diamond Dust and Pure Diamond Dust. These are my favorite highlighters for such a long time. I still love them, but they're very old, first of all. I've had this one since like 2019 and then this one since I think 2020. They're both getting like 5-6 years old at this point. And when it comes to the tones of these highlighters, I feel like for this peachier one, my Nobla Skin Glazing will scratch that itch. And then for the more silvery one, I think the Flower Nose will scratch that itch. I am so heartbroken to let go of these. But also, this is another thing where the packaging is not flat, so it's not the most travel friendly because they don't lay flat. A small complaint, but guys, I think it's the end of an era. I don't even want to dwell on it for too long because I will talk myself into keeping them, so let's just move on. This is a fun one, but I think I can let go of it. It's the Flower Nose Midsummer Fairy Tales Liquid Blush in the shade Pixie Dream. This is so fun. It is very, very like colorful for a highlighter. Like you could see lots of shiftiness. Actually reminds me of the Cleona eyeshadow in Light Fast, but in highlighter form. It's so pretty. Again, if I look at it too long, I'll convince myself to keep it, so I'm getting rid of it simply because I don't really wear liquid highlighter that much, and I find the packaging kind of bulky as well. These are both so old, I think I'm just ready to retire both of them. ColourPop Monster, this is another duochrome highlighter. Duochromes are fun. Not saying I wouldn't ever own a duochrome highlighter again. I obviously got a good amount of use out of this, but this is another thing that's so old. I think it's 5 years old now, so I'm gonna let go of that one. And then this has been a favorite on my channel for so long, the Estate Baked Highlighter in the shade Lit. The packaging broke once, I glued the window back on. It's also so very old, and I think it's just time to say goodbye. Goodbye. I'm sad. I don't want to think about it too much. You guys, this feels so freeing. I'm keeping 4 highlighters, decluttering 6, and panning 1. Okay, we're on to lip liners now. Lip liners don't take up much space, so I'm not too worried about these. One of these, the Koki Lip Pencil in Nude, I am almost finished with this. This is part of that Project Pan Blitz. Might as well be out of the picture. You know what, guys? I want to keep all of these. because I love them all. Honestly, I can use up lip liners pretty quickly, so I'm not worried about like not being able to use any of these up in the future. The Sachu Lip Liner Stain in Hazel. I do really like this product. I haven't worn it a ton, but I do know I like it. It's like that stain you apply and then peel off after 10 minutes, leaves behind a nice stain. As a lip liner lover and a lip stain lover, I do want to keep this. I have the NYX Lip Pencil in Pale Pink. Go ahead and let's just swatch all of these. This one looks black at first, but you'll see what the finished product looks like. That's that. I'm just gonna put these in order. See if there's anything super redundant. Even if there is, I might not be mad about it though. So just for fun, I swatched all of these. This bottom one is that Sachu Lip Liner Stain in Hazel. Yeah, I love that. It's not often you see such a brown lip stain, so definitely want to keep that. The NYX Lip Pencil in Pale Pink, very unique. Definitely not my usual lip pencil color, but I've had fun with it, pairing it with like warmer lipsticks. It's kind of fun, so I'm gonna keep that. Haven't had it very long. The e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner in Pinky Swear. More pink than some of the other nudes I have. Another one I haven't had very long. Gonna keep that as well. This is absolutely my kind of shade. The Wonder Skin Lip Liner in Saddle. Nice peachy brownie nude. The next two are my Jones Road lip pencils. These are like my all-time favorite lip pencils. Jones Road Nude and Jones Road Mauve. Love how creamy these are. They are so blendable, so blurring. And then I also really like this one. This is the NYX Duck Plump Lip Liner in Subtle Touch. Another brownie nude, subtly different from the rest. Enough to keep. And then lastly, this is the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in Happy. Love that one too, and it's really different from anything else. So yeah, probably the only category where I'm not getting rid of anything. Alright, next up are my lip glosses and lip oils. This one is the Kopari Lip Glossy in Birthday Suit. This one I will be done with, so that will be moved out. Once again, just going through and grabbing the ones that I feel most attached to. I think I just made my decision. These are the ones I'm keeping, and I'm probably just going to get rid of all the rest. So the ones I'm keeping, I really wanted to keep all of my Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Glosses. I have the shades Cherry Vanilla, Rosy Outlook, and Nudie. And this is just my favorite lip gloss formula, so if I keep nothing else, I want these. The Fenty Gloss Balm in Sweet Mouth. I haven't had this very long. It's high-end. I bought it myself. I really like it, so that one's going to stay as well. The e.l.f. Sun Boss Gloss in Blush Much. I use this all the time. It stays in my purse, and it's just so great for on the go. I love knowing that my lips are protected. I love the formula of this Cocoa Kind Ceramide Lip Blur Balm. I have the shade Be Kind. It is such a comfortable, cushiony lip formula. The Sigma Renew Lip Oil in Tint. Grabbed this to keep because I do really like it, and I've used up like half of it already. I feel like it's too old to pass on, so I might as well just keep it and use it up. Also wanted to keep the Ciate London Bronze Glow Shimmering Lip Oil. This is my favorite lip oil formula. I'll show a swatch of it. Very sheer bronze color. Haven't gotten to wear it in a while just because I've been focusing on other things, but this is such a nice lip oil, and I feel like I've probably used a lot of it already, so might as well take that and finish it up eventually. And then the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump in White Peach. I just love a milky peach gloss. I bet this is super melty today because it's so hot, but that's what that looks like. I just love it. Another high-end thing I bought myself, so I'm more inclined to keep it. I think one more thing I'll keep is the e.l.f. Pout Clout Lip Plumping Pen in the shade Toasted. I just feel like I haven't used this much. I just bought it, I think, over Black Friday last year, which I know was a while ago, but this just feels like a color I'm gonna love in the fall. Yeah, let's keep that. Let's keep that. Guys, I think I can just go ahead and pass on the rest of these. I'll just quickly run through them. The Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip in Hibiscus. I like this, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not in love with the color. Both of these Typology lip oils are very nice. I would love to keep them, but they're glass. They're much bulkier than all my other, they're kind of an odd shape compared to all my other lip products. And they're just not, I don't know, they're just not practical right now. The Say Glossy Bounce Lip Oil in Push, honestly I wish this had a flavor to it because I just don't like the taste of the ingredients in here. Which is a shame because I do really like this color. It's a very unique neutral brown shade for a lip oil, but not my fave. The Ciate Watermelon Burst Hydrating Lip Oil is a clear lip oil. I just think I have what I need as far as squeezy tube lip balms go between the Cocoa Kind and this other Ciate one. This Kaleidos Lip Glaze in Skinny Dip, this is barely used. Seems like a nice lip gloss, but I just really don't need another nude lip gloss. This I got in PR. Honestly, I never should have opened it. I should have just stuck to what I already had open, but I was too tempted by the pretty packaging. The Ciate Pump Plump Lip Gloss. I do really enjoy this, but I have all the shades of plumping glosses I need with those Lawless ones. The Rimmel Stay Glossy in Bare Minimum. I was hoping to pan this year, and I wish I could have, but also I just don't love this lip gloss formula. I don't like the smell of it. It smells like baby powder, and it can be kind of gloopy, so I just have things I like better. The Peach and Lily Collagen Cushion Peptide Lip Balm. I have it in the shade Sheer Peach. I'll show what the shade looks like. Definitely sheer. Kind of goes on looking pretty clear. I like this a lot, but it's just barely used, so I might as well pass it on. The In Beauty Project Sun Balm SPF 30, I have the shade Latte. Actually, I'm going to keep this because I do want another shade of an SPF lip gloss besides the e.l.f. one. This shade Latte, I don't like the formula of this as much as the e.l.f. It's just much thicker, and it really like locks onto your lips. It also sticks to your water bottle, those kinds of things, which at least it's good to know that it has good staying power because you want that in an SPF. But you can see that is much more of a brownie nude, and the e.l.f. is way more pink. So yeah, let's keep both of those. And I can pass these two on as well, the Ciate London Dewy Gloss in Heartbeat, and the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss in You're Just Jelly. I don't love this gloss formula. It's nice and shiny, but it's very gloopy to me, so I don't really care about that. Alright, on to lip stains. This one, the e.l.f. in Coral Cutie, is in my project pan. So, like all my project pan items, this won't come with me. Then we're left with these. So we have the Wonder Skin lip mask in the shade Lovely. So this is another lip stain that goes on looking crazy, and then it's this like indigo blue color at first. You let that sit, then wipe it off. The blue layer comes off. Turns into a really nice peachy color. I'll show you in a second. I actually do want to keep this because I love lip stains. I love the color of this one. It's kind of hard to find peachier, warm-toned lip stains. I feel like so many of them are just like hot pink. So then you wipe off. I don't think I waited quite long enough, in all fairness, but that is an idea of what the color looks like once the stain has set up. I do want to keep this also because my friend Too Much Tosh, she tracks uses on her products, and it took her only 30 uses to finish this, so I'm thinking that's something I could easily pan. And then we have these three. I definitely want to keep these two. These are two of my favorite lip products in my collection. The Kaja Jelly Charm Lip Stain in Peach Fizz. I don't have as many of these, so I don't mind swatching them. There's Peach Fizz. I love it because it's not as peachy as you would expect. It's a little bit more muted, rosy, and again, I love a lip stain that's not hot pink. And then this is the Amuse Dew Tint in Soul Soul, which is similar but a little bit warmer toned than the Kaja. So those two I do want to keep, but then I don't really care to keep this one. This is the NYX Lip Ivy Hydrating Gloss Serum in the shade Caramel Drip. This is just so caramely in color. A little bit too much for me. It's so warm toned. Almost mustardy on my skin tone. So that one also I haven't used a whole lot. Okay, I have these tinted lip balms. I definitely want to keep the Jones Road lip tint in Nude Mauve. Such a pretty My Lips But Better beigey nude. Absolutely have to keep that. Definitely wasn't going to get rid of. Never was planning on getting rid of that. Then the Revie Beauty Effortless Lip in Lily I also must keep. I love this one. It's like a little bit more peachy than the Jones Road. They're both just so stunning. I've hardly used this. This is the Jones Road Lippy Stick in the shade Me. M-E. I feel like I always have to spell that, otherwise it's like, what did you just say? Oh, that is pretty. Damn. You know what? Why do I want... I want to keep that. Tinted lip balms are my favorite, so you know what? I'm going to keep that. This one is new. This was sent over by Revolution. It's the Gloss Stick in the shade Sugar Cookie. So this is kind of like a melty lip gloss stick type thing. Just swatching all over the place. But it's mostly like a gloss stick with shimmer in it, and it has like the slightest peachy tint to it. So far, I really like it, and it smells just like a nostalgic lip smacker smell to me. You know, I think I'll go ahead and keep this too. It's very old. I feel like it's too old to pass on. But it's the e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine in Cheery. It is a very corally red color. I can easily... Yeah, I like that color. It's fun for kind of a bright but still sheer color. Oh wait, this is actually more of a tinted balm as well, but it got tossed in with my lipsticks. This is the AOA Studio Bombshell in Kitten, kind of like the e.l.f. It's a sheer red. I just never wear this, so I'm gonna let go of that. Alright, then we have my lipsticks. I really don't think I'm gonna keep very many of these. I think I'm going to keep 3 of these and get rid of these 3. The 3 I want to keep are the Estate Cream of the Cream lipstick in the shade Fluffy. This is just a really, really nice light nudie tan color. Love that one. This is another one I love, the Queen Musea lipstick in Dorian. Such a fun, bright yet muted color. Yeah, I just love that color. I've never had a lip color quite like that. I also want to keep Grace from BK Beauty. I just love this for a slightly cooler toned nude. It's more of a cool pinky nude. Love that for winter. These two are very comfortable creamy lip formulas, almost like a lip balm. And then the Queen Musea one is more of like a traditional matte bullet lipstick. But I have just gotten further and further away from really wearing bullet lipsticks very much. I really prefer a lip pencil and a gloss or balm or something. As much as I don't want to, I am going to let go of these 4. This one, I'm mainly letting go of it because it smells off, sadly. It's the Bite Lip Crayon in Stinger. This is such a classic, you can't get it anymore. It's like a brighter version of that Queen Musea color, but it's still like slightly, it's so bright but yet still slightly muted. I love this. I'm really sad to not have been able to finish it before it went bad, but I don't want to keep expired products. This is a red lipstick from Makeup Revolution. It's the shade Vibe Red. I used to love a red lipstick, and I think I've just come to accept I don't... Oh no, I just swatched it and immediately wanted to keep it. I don't have any other red bullet lipsticks. I feel like I need one red for the holidays. You know what? I'm gonna keep this one. Kind of bulky, but I feel like I can squeeze it in. I am going to get rid of the e.l.f. O Face Satin Lipstick in No Doubt. I just think for a tan nude, I prefer that Estate one. This is the e.l.f. It's just a little darker, but overall very similar undertone. This is a really nice lipstick formula. Like I said, I don't really reach for my bullet lipsticks. And this one I wanted to keep, but it's so old, I think I should just retire it. It's the Estate Lip Thirst in the shade Pina, and it is a... Can I find room? Beautiful vampy purple. I'm so tempted to keep this for one more fall. But you know what? The smell is kind of different than it used to be, so that one's going to go too. That was much more painless than most of my lip declutters have been in the past, I have to say. So of all my lip glosses, lipsticks, and lip stains, I'm keeping 23. Still a lot. But then again, I used to have just like 23 bullet lipsticks, so I think this is pretty good. And then a total of 18 will be leaving my collection. I'm decluttering 16, and 2 of them are getting used up. So one category I'm not decluttering because I'm actually going to be doing a showdown with all of these. These are all my eyeshadow primers. I'm gonna just take all these with me. Actually, the only one I am going to declutter is this one, and that's because they don't sell this anymore, so it's not really useful to include in the showdown. But it's the e.l.f. Shadow Lock Eyelid Primer. Pretty good primer. I actually like it more than the e.l.f. Lock It Down eyeshadow primer. Felt like it actually prevented creasing a little bit better, although it also wasn't perfect. But at least that's one that I can get rid of out of all these. The rest Fortunately, these are pretty small, so I will keep the rest. Same goes for brow glue. This is way more brow glue than I would like to have at any given time, but for showdown purposes, I'll keep them. So here are all of my single shadows that are individually packaged. I do want to keep both. I'm probably going to end up keeping a lot of these because I love this category. I am going to keep both of my e.l.f. Fine as Fleck glitter eyeshadows in White Hot and Champagne Showers. I just, first of all, love how sleek the packaging is on these. I love that they're powder shadows, so they're not going to dry out. Like, a lot of singles are creams, and I worry about them drying out. I haven't had either of these that long, and I just want more time with them. They're also quite sleek, so easy to pack. I didn't expect this to be such a hard category, but both my ColourPop Super Shocks I don't want to get rid of. I have Ritz and A Little Quirky. I love these two. They're neutral, but they're so sparkly and just some of my favorite toppers. Similar to the e.l.f. Fine as Fleck, but the e.l.f. ones are a bit more of a fine shimmer, so it just kind of depends on what look I'm going for, but the ColourPop ones are so much bulkier though. Look at that. I think I can pass on the Surratt Soufflé eyeshadow in Gris Dew. This is a very luxury product. It's beautiful. I can tell it's luxury by the feel, the experience of using it, but I was keeping this as like a winter shade because it's a very smoky, kind of like oyster pearl kind of color. But I don't know how much of an olive undertone this has to it. It's just not the most flattering color on me. I was mostly keeping this for the fall and winter for really smoky, sultry looks, but this past fall and winter I barely used it, so I think we can let go of that one, at least. I think I'll get rid of the e.l.f. No Budge eyeshadow in Wildflower too, even though I love this color so much, but I have this color in non-cream shadows and palettes as well. And this is definitely a very crease-prone formula. I feel like both of these are pretty similar. Let's swatch them side by side. This is the Merit Solo Shadow in Studio, and this is the ColourPop Shadow Sticks in the shade Bear With Me. Okay, so the ColourPop one is just a little bit more rosy. Which one do I like better? I love both. Why don't we keep both? I mean, let's be honest, neither one of these takes up that much space, so we can keep both, that's fine. Alright, continuing on. Definitely want to keep this one. This is such an interesting shade. This is the Hard Candy eyeshadow stick in Stoned. I'm swatching things in such a random way. This one is so interesting. It's a taupe. It's like a very gray taupe. Very fun. Love to layer that with ColourPop Ritz or any shimmery topper. This one, I'm making every attempt to use up, but it's not coming with me. It's the e.l.f. No Budge eyeshadow stick in Rose Gold. Really pretty rose gold shade. I've enjoyed panning it. That one will be gone. Okay, out of the rest of these shadow sticks, I think the only other one I care to keep is e.l.f. Copper Chic. I love this shade for a one and done bronzy shadow. So I am going to keep that. I think I can declutter Magnetic Pull. I used to love this one. It is very cool toned. I'm already keeping the other really cool toned one from Hard Candy, Stoned. And this is like a kind of more purpley taupe. Very pretty, but I do feel like cool tones like this wash me out. So that one I can declutter. This one is the Kajal Wink Dazzle eyeshadow and glitter multi-stick in the shade Mocha Sparkle. Adore the color of this. I actually kept it just for the color, but unfortunately this just creases and fades on me so much. And I also think the Merit Solo Shadow in Studio, the Merit has a little more pinkiness to it, but I feel like for a matte cream shadow, I can do without this Kaja one. I do like it has this glitter stamp on the other end. Very pretty, but for me, I prefer the Kaja eyeshadow trio stacks, the Beauty Bentos. I prefer those for eyeshadow versus this. This kind of missed the mark for me, even though it's really pretty. This I just don't really wear. It's a pretty color, but it's another kind of purpley, cool tone taupe. It's the Hard Candy eyeshadow stick in Pony. It's just kind of grayish. Like, yeah, not my go-to color, but it is pretty though. I think I'll go ahead and keep both of these. The Flower Chrome Crush Pressed Pigment in the shade Quartz. This is so beautiful. Have to keep. Very glittery, beautiful glittery topper. And you know, I think just because it's Charlotte Tilbury, it's old, so I can't really pass it on to anyone, I'll keep this too. This is the Eyes to Mesmerize Cream Shadow in Rose Gold. And one day I would love to use it up. So I am definitely keeping more than I'm decluttering in this category, but that's okay because it's one of my favorite categories. Keeping these 10, and then these 6 will be leaving my collection. These 5 are declutters, this one I'm trying to pan. Pretty good. Definitely reduced the volume of that category. Right, so next for eyeliner. When it comes to eyeliner, I pretty much wear mostly brown and like nude colors. So let me just pull out the ones that fit that description. Oh, this is a brow pen. That doesn't go in there. Yeah, these are the ones that, just looking through, I feel the most inclined to keep. Definitely want to keep my Fenty Fly Liner in Big Truffle. It's actually the only liquid liner I have, but it is like a true chocolate brown, and I really love it. So that we'll keep. I also want to keep these 2 brown pencils. I have the Tower 28 One Liner in Draw Me and the NYX Epic Smoke Liner in Nude Haze. The NYX one is kind of like a lighter brown. And then the Tower 28 is a little darker. Love brown liner, so keeping both of those. I also want to keep my NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick in Rose Gold. I love that one for the lower lash line, just brightening up. And I've used a good chunk of that one. I also like having a nude liner for the lower waterline. This is the Essence Extreme Lasting Eye Pencil in Silky Nude. Just a nice brightening nude shade. I will keep that. This one is in my project pan. It's getting really small. It's the CoverGirl 24-Hour Kohl Eyeliner Pencil in black. And, you know, I've just been using it to tightline mainly. It's whatever. But that'll be gone. And then this one I haven't even opened yet, but I just don't think I need black eyeliner in my collection. I just think with all the black eyeshadows I own, I really don't need a black eyeliner. So this one, I haven't even opened it, but was planning on opening it after the CoverGirl one was done. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it unopened. And these are all different colors. Surprisingly, I have 3 green eyeliners. This is the CoverGirl Perfect Point Plus in Gray Khaki. I just hardly ever wear that one. I don't love super olivey tones on me, so that can go. Then the Wonder Skin, then this is the speaking of olive, this is the Wonder Skin Longwear Eyeliner in the shade Olive. More of a, I do like that color of green. Actually, I think if I'm going to keep any green eyeliner pencil, it's going to be this one. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Overdrive. Ooh, yeah, that is so pretty. It's like an emerald green. I'm going to keep that one. But I'll get rid of those 2 more olivey tones because I have those tones in eyeshadows if I want to wear them, you know? I also have this CoverGirl Perfect Point Plus in the shade Midnight Blue. It's a dark blue, just a dark navy blue. Pretty color. You know, these CoverGirl Perfect Point Plus liners, they're kind of waxy. I've had them for a long time. I'm just gonna declutter that. I almost never wear navy blue eyeliner anyway. Then these are 2 more NYX Epic Wear liner sticks. I have Chill Blue and Periwinkle Pop. You know, I think I'll go ahead and keep both of these. Eyeliners are another thing that don't take up much space. That's Periwinkle Pop. And then Chill Blue is really fun too. Yeah. They're just fun. They're old, so I might as well keep them. So I'm keeping 8 eyeliners, and I'm moving out 5. 4 of them are declutters, and 1 of them is hopefully getting panned. 2 brow products. I'm going to keep both of these. One of them I actually haven't even used yet, but it's the Wonder Skin Wonder Blading Brow Stain and Go. Small enough that I am willing to squeeze it in my bag. But I really do want to try this. It sounds interesting. And the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen in Taupe. I've had this for so long, like a year and a half. It keeps going. These last so long for me, but I love this brow pen. I'm going to keep it because it's the only brow pen I have. I use it every single day I wear makeup. I currently have 3 mascaras, and one of them expires in just a few days, so I'm going to go ahead and retire it when we leave. So this will be gone. The e.l.f. Lash Extender in Brown. Love this mascara. It's probably my top favorite right now. And then I have these 2. The Revolution Wrap Lash in black and the Kulfi Baddie Lash in black. Both tubing mascaras. I like what both do for my lashes. The Kulfi one unfortunately flakes on me, so this is just a no-go. I'm gonna have to declutter that. I can't tolerate flaky mascaras. But I will keep this Revolution Wrap Lash. This is really nice. I do enjoy this a lot. It's a little bit wetter in formula than the e.l.f. Lash Extender, but it is very lengthening, very dramatic because it is black. They do make a brown version of this too, though, that I'm curious to try. But this will be my one and only mascara, at least for a little while. So I don't mind that. I'm enjoying getting even more time with this one. Okay, onto the palette category. I want to start by looking at the palettes that I've not yet completed in my No Pan Left Behind project this year. So I want to go through these and think about which ones am I feeling excited to roll into the project and which ones am I kind of dreading. And I think that'll be my decision on which ones of these I keep. So there are 20 palettes that I've not yet completed in No Pan Left Behind. Let's just go one by one. And we'll kind of go by brand too. So starting with the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette. This one, I just have to keep this. I don't want to get rid of this. I love this palette. This is definitely one of those products in my collection I feel attached to, and I can't say that about very many things in my collection. I just really love this. Yeah, I love this palette. I wish Urban Decay would do more palettes with like these really cool shimmer textures. Despite its bulkiness, we're keeping that. I also really want to keep my Urban Decay Naked palette. I definitely am feeling excited to get around to this one in the No Pan Left Behind project. This is the re-release of this palette that came out last summer. I'm still sad that they didn't make it permanent. It was just like a limited release, but I was so excited because I actually never got to try the original Naked palette, and it just feels like a piece of history. Really love the variety of neutrals in here as well. I love that it's mostly shimmer and satin shades. So yeah, we're keeping that as well. I have a lot of Alter Ego palettes. I am on their PR list, so they do send me pretty much everything they release. I don't keep everything, but I have kept a lot over the past couple years, so let's take a look at these. Midsummer, I really like this one. This is the dupe for ABH Nouveau. I love the mix of shades in here. The warm and cool tones, that pop of lavender, and all these shimmers over here, they really speak to me. So I do want to keep this one. It's nice and small. Daylight from Alter Ego. This is the dupe for Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. And I actually came to realize I prefer the matte formula from Alter Ego over Natasha Denona's matte formula, but I prefer Natasha's shimmer formula. So here's the original I Need a Nude. I just completed this in my No Pan Left Behind. Really enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to make a decision here because I don't want to keep both the original palette and the dupe palette. I think that's silly. I don't need both. It's not that the mattes in the Natasha Denona one are bad. I just find the Alter Ego ones a little bit more blendable. But for me, what it really comes down to, I think, is the shimmers. Also the fact that this one is more expensive and I purchased it myself, so I'm just more motivated to keep this one. So I will pass on Daylight, even though it's lovely. It makes no sense to keep both. Dream Gaze, I think, is my favorite Alter Ego palette. This is the dupe for Natasha Denona Pastel. This just has so many of my favorite pastel tones in it, so definitely keeping this one. I think both of these are meant to dupe Huda Beauty palettes, so we have Mist Haven. Love the packaging of this one. I think I can just go ahead and pass this on. Just knowing me and my makeup style, I mean, there are plenty of light tones in here too, but I think this palette just leans deeper than what I am going to realistically use very often. So this I have not used very much anyway. Coastal, I haven't used this one in a while. I mean, I haven't really used it this year. I'm gonna put this in a maybe pile to revisit after I see how many things I've decluttered. Okay, we have the Ace Beauté Flora palette here. This was part of their floral collection. I have another one that I have already completed in No Pan Left Behind, the Calla. That one I do think I'll keep, but this one I just feel not super attached to. It's a very warm, very red and yellow color scheme, and I don't use it often, so that's an easy one to let go of. I definitely want to keep my Odin's Eye Sea Talk palette. This is the collab they did with Lauren May Beauty, and I love the mermaid vibes of this. The shimmers in here are particularly stunning, and wow, just looking at this makes me want to use it. Oh, Aether Beauty Rose Quartz. Guys, I think what I want to do is depot the one shade in here that I care about the most, which is this one right here, the one with pan. This is very old, had it for a long time. Yeah, I don't feel the need to keep this whole palette, but I really do want to keep this shade. I just want to keep that. I love it so much. It's like one of a kind. I know it looks like nothing in the pan, but it's like the perfect rosy beige transition shade for me. So I think that's exactly what I'll do. I'm gonna go ahead and consider this a declutter. The Sigma Angela Bright palette, I want to keep this as well. This one is so fun. Yeah, I love what she did with this color story. I feel like it's something I haven't gotten the chance to use as much as I would like to. Such a great mix of like fall tones, but also some bright pops of color. I love the peach. I also really like this copper shade, Autumn. That color is so pretty all over the lid for a smoky fall look. And overall, this gives me like revamped subculture vibes. So I'm definitely keeping this. It's also nice and small, so that's a deciding factor for sure. Okay, so far I'm keeping probably too much, but let's continue. All right, Nomad. These are the Nomad palettes I've yet to complete. No Pen Left Behind. We have Okavango Safari. I really like this one. I especially liked it when my hair was red. Man, I'm so torn on this one. I think I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile with Alter Ego Coastal. This is Fuji Five Lakes, and this one, sadly, I already know how I feel about this one, which is that it has a really fun color story. And the packaging's awesome. It's like a canvas, like it looks like a painted canvas, very cool. But this is one of the Nomad formulas where the shimmers crease on me, and I don't have that problem with every Nomad palette, but this one, I just already know it does that, so I don't even know why I'm hanging on to this. I think I was hanging on to it to get to in No Pan Left Behind, but I think I know, like, if I do No Pan Left Behind this, I'm going to end up wanting to declutter it at the end anyway, so let's just save myself the trouble. Pass that on. Nomad Polar Express. I used this quite a bit around Christmas last year because that's when it was released, but I still haven't used every shade in here. Like, since I got it, a lot of the shades are untouched. And honestly, just looking at this palette, I feel like the only reason I want to keep this is because it's fun and Christmas themed. But for me, like, this is the reason why I don't purchase, like, holiday palettes usually, is because I know that I'm only going to want to use them around the holidays and then they're just going to sit and collect dust the rest of the year, and that's exactly what's happened with this one. I think this is one I can easily pass on. Again, it's still very new and largely untouched. These two little peach pocket palettes, let's talk about these. We have the Kaja Beauty Bento in Peach Madeline and the Essence Coral Me Maybe. I feel like between the two of these, I don't need to keep both, and really my heart is telling me to keep the Kaja. It's one really glittery shade, a finer shimmer, and then a matte peach. This is like all I need, I think, for a peachy look. I do love this Essence Coral Me Maybe palette. I'm sad to declutter it, but I do need to make some tough decisions here, and I think this is going to be one of them. I've had it for a very long time. I definitely do recommend this. I just don't think I need both of these. So, I'm sad, but this one's gonna go. This one will stay. Okay, this is a palette I have never used. So cute though. The Flower Nose Star Moon Strawberry. Beautiful design, as always with Flower Nose. I partially want to keep it just for that reason. Why do I want to keep this? Man, I really just want to... It's hard to decide when I haven't ever used it. Like, I don't even know how these shades are. You know what? Because it's unused, let's just pass it on. I'm sad. I really want to keep it. Okay, let's put it in the maybe pile. We have the Revolution. This is the Revolution, the True Icon palette. This is supposed to dupe the Patrick Ta Major Dimension palette that looks like this. It does have two cream shades in it that I didn't like the one time I tried them. I found them so incredibly messy. This one is another one I have not really touched yet this year. When it comes to warm tone neutral palettes, my Sigma Ambiance is my favorite. And I mean, just look at these two together. Do I really need to keep both? No. So I think we can declutter this one. Flower Coastal Lights. I have also the Jungle Lights and Desert Lights. Those two have been completed in No Pan Left Behind. This one I haven't gotten to yet. I think I just want to declutter this. Never should have bought it in the first place, in all honesty. I just don't feel inspired by this color story. The shades in here are not quite as like chunky and glittery as some of the ones in Desert Lights and Jungle Lights. They're a bit more satiny, but still very shiny. Definitely want to keep my Lethal Cosmetics Build Your Own palette. I have a few other Lethal shades in my singles collection that I can swap out with these if I want to. I love that I can swap out shades in here and it just evolves over time. So now I want to go through the palettes that I have completed in my No Pan Left Behind challenge. And by the way, if you're following my No Pan Left Behind project, my next update will be coming soon, but I wanted to go ahead and include the palettes from my last round in here. So you'll get a little sneak peek of, usually I make my decision to declutter those palettes in my No Pan Left Behind updates, but since I'm filming this first and I'm probably not going to get to filming that until after we move, I want to go ahead and include those palettes in here as well. So you'll see those in here. So there are 19 palettes here that have been completed No Pan Left Behind. So that means that I had basically worked my way through half of my collection, just about. I was up to 39 palettes total, including quads, trios, duos, things like that. So let's get into it. Most of these, except for the ones from my most recent round, have made the cut to stay in my collection after being completed No Pan Left Behind. But now that I'm, really downsizing, maybe I'll change my mind on some of those things. We'll see. So let's just get into it. Let's talk about my Nomad palettes first, because I am feeling the most conflicted about these. These are the ones I've completed so far. New Zealand Stargazing, Verona, Ireland I just completed, and Ghost Town USA. My all-time favorite Nomad palette, and one of my favorite palettes ever, is the Ghost Town USA palette. This one's definitely staying. I love the spooky Ghost Town theme of this. I also just love the colors in here, regardless of it being a Halloween palette. It just has so much variety. I love the green tones in here. These are my kind of greens. I do like green eyeshadow, but I've realized I don't love every shade of green on me, but I love these muted, cooler greens, and then also the warm golden greens. Those are just some of my favorite types of tones to wear. So obviously keeping this one. If I don't keep any other Nomad palettes, I've got to keep this one. Okay, let's talk about Ireland. I was so excited when this released. I love Ireland. I want to visit so badly. This is such a fun palette if you like greens, but it is very green heavy, and I did struggle to complete this in No Pan Left Behind. I did kind of have to force myself to do a really bright green look at the end, which, I guess I didn't have to do that, but I did, because I just wanted to complete it before I filmed this declutter. And what I came to realize is that I think this is just too much green, and a lot of the green tones in here I just find a little redundant. I feel like I could do with just a fewer greens in here, but at the same time I understand it's an Ireland palette, so it's gonna have a lot of green. I love a lot of what's going on in here, and that's why I'm torn on whether to keep this actually. I was actually kind of thinking I want to compare this to the Okavango Safari palette. The Okavango is so olive though compared to Ireland, and really doesn't have nearly as much green. If you look at this palette, if you look here, there's really two greens in here. And then Ireland does have some olive tones in it, but it's much more green heavy. And there's also some blue in here. I actually think I just want to declutter both of these. Nomad's another brand that I was on their PR list. I did take myself off their PR list this year, but I did receive like every release of theirs last year, and so I ended up collecting a lot of their palettes, but I think I probably only want to keep like my top favorites. So let's just pass both of these on. I'm sad to let go of Ireland. This has some really interesting shades in it, especially the light mattes in here. This light yellowy green is so interesting. I love the shade Danny Boy. I like this shade as well, Connemara. It's like a khaki color. Really beautiful tones in here. If you like green, I definitely recommend this palette. I just don't think for me it makes sense to keep such a large palette when I'm really just not that into green. And I think what it is for me with this palette, I think this is a fantastic palette. I just figured out I don't really like those kinds of greens on my eyes usually, as fun as they are to play with, so I'm really sad to get rid of both of these. But I think I'm also ready to finally declutter Nomad Verona. I was really keeping it for this half because I love these tones, but I don't think those tones are all that unique. Like, I think I can find those in other palettes. I wish that they would have just made these two separate palettes rather than putting them together. Like, I understand the, the kind of Romeo and Juliet love and death theme. It's just so big also, so that one can go. I do want to keep New Zealand Stargazing. I think, yeah, this feels right to me. This feels right. To just keep two Nomad palettes. New Zealand Stargazing is so fun. In fact, I think it has a lot of the vibe of that darker side of the Verona palette that I liked. It has the grays, blues, purples, and I think this palette overall just fills a lot of color gaps in my collection. I also love the formula of this one. The shimmers in this one don't crease on me. So whatever they did with this one, this is the formula I like. So I think that feels perfect to just keep two Nomad palettes. I just have one more small stack to go through. So I think these are all just kind of one-off brands for the most part. NYX. We have the NYX Ultimate Vintage Jean Baby Palette. I want to keep this as well. I completed this in No Pan Left Behind earlier in the year, and I was just so impressed. I've never tried NYX eyeshadows before, but this formula is so nice. I love the mix of like nude and neutral shades, but also the fun pops of blue. These are my kind of blue tones as well, like this sort of denim blue. I've always been obsessed with the idea of denim blue eyeshadow. Anyway, I just love the whole concept of this, so we're keeping it. ColourPop sweet as can be, I'm keeping this. I'm, of course, keeping this. And it's not even that I'm so attached to the shades in here, I just love the theme. I just think it's such a cute, like, collector's item. Also, I have a cat named Bee, and that's the main reason I purchased this. But I really do like ColourPop's eyeshadow formula. I think it's so user-friendly, blendable, and this is a really nice versatile mix of tones that's great for spring, summer, fall, anytime. So let's keep it. Who doesn't love Winnie the Pooh also? How cute is he? Ace Boutte Cala. I'm definitely keeping this. This is one of my favorite sultry palettes. It kind of reminds me of ABH Sultry, but I almost like this better. I just love this curated small palette, so that's a keep. I already kind of decided I'd keep this one. This is the only Natasha Denona palette I have. Even though I don't think it's perfect, and like I said, I don't love the matte formula in here, I still want to keep it, use it. I've gotten a ton of use out of it, and it's just a great everyday color story for me, so. We have Jungle Lights and Desert Lights. You guys, I think I'm ready to part with Jungle Lights and just keep Desert Lights. I do really like Jungle Lights. This was like the original Lights palette from Flower, and it has some fun tones in it, but honestly, I've come to learn I don't really reach for all shimmer palettes much because they don't have mattes in them, and I do use mattes most of the time. So I think I just want to keep my favorite of the Lights palettes, which is Desert Lights. I use every single shade in here, and I think that's the thing that sets it apart. And I don't really use one out of the 6 shades in Jungle Lights, this dark purple. I don't really use that one, so it feels like kind of a waste. Such large pans to have even just one that I don't reach for. It's taking up valuable space in my collection. So goodbye. Oh my gosh, this is really sad. This is why I have to go quickly, otherwise I will second guess every choice I've made. These are the Sigma palettes that I have completed in No Pan Left Behind. Cool Neutrals, New Mod, and Ambiance. I think I want to just keep Ambiance. This is my favorite Sigma palette. This one has to stay. I don't feel as attached to either of these, actually. New Mod just has a lot of pinks and berries. It does have a lot of taupe and neutral shades that I like, but I just don't really want to keep a palette where nearly half of it is shades I'm not that excited about. The thing that's making me want to keep this is the shimmers. I love this shade, this shade, this shade. I'm tempted to keep it because I love those shades, but I really don't care about the rest of the palette, so yeah. Okay, we can let go of that one. I feel like I have plenty of other neutrals to keep. These are 2 really mini palettes, the e.l.f. Love You a Latte quad. I do want to keep this. It's all matte. It's the only all matte palette I have, and I just love all these shades. I think they're great staple colors. And it's very small and compact, so easy to travel with. The What's Up Beauty Latte Tude Duo, I would keep this if I didn't already have so many great neutral shades in the other palettes I'm keeping. Really cute little duo, but it's just not necessary to keep. I do have the What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye palette, and this I definitely want to keep. This was in my last round of No Pan Left Behind. I had so much fun with this. I would say I think I reached for this one the most out of the entire round. Love this color story. I think it speaks for itself. I mean, just look at it. And the What's Up Beauty shimmer formula is no joke. Like, I know I haven't been swatching much, but like, look at these. They're so intense, sparkly, metallic, and just gorgeous. I do have 2 ABH palettes, and I do want to keep both of these. Norvina, I'm slowly chipping away at this. I want to pan as much of it as I can. It is getting very old, but Sultry, this is another icon. I can't get rid of this. I mean, are you serious? I had so much fun with this one too in No Pan Left Behind. So yeah, look at all those dips too. I want to make more progress on this, hit some pans. And last but not least, Unleasha Glitterpedia #1. This is all shimmers and toppers, and I do want to keep this. I just love all of these ethereal light shades, and yeah, I feel like now that I'll have fewer palettes, hopefully I can get even more use out of this and all of these, but yeah, really loved this one. I think this was in my very first round of No Pan Left Behind, and I love using it. Okay, so let's revisit our maybe pile. Actually, kind of similar vibe. And looking at the two, I just feel more drawn to Coastal because I like that it has those light, dusty, pinky lavender tones, but also some warm tones, browns, beiges, and just a little, obviously more variety because it's a bigger palette. But I just feel a little bit more attached to Coastal, and I think I'd rather declutter the one that I haven't even used yet so that someone else can use it. So these are all of my single shadows. These are the ones I've completed and no pan left behind. These are the ones I haven't gotten to yet. I don't really want to get rid of any of them. I love making mini palettes out of them, and just having this much variety is a lot of fun, so I'm just going to keep all of those. I'm in more of a single shadow mood recently than palettes, even though I still love palettes, don't get me wrong. Alright, and for the palette declutter, here are the results. On the left are the ones I'm keeping, and on the right are the ones I'm getting rid of. I'm keeping a total of 22, and I'm getting rid of 19. So I did cut my collection, which was originally 39, almost in half. Okay, so now for the moment of truth. Can I fit everything I kept into here? So I want to start with this larger case. This is where palettes are going to go, and then anything else that fits. Let's see if we can fit all the palettes I kept in here. Okay, so all the palettes definitely will fit in this big case, and I still have a little room to spare for other things in here. So then there are these two like medium-sized cases. I think start with some cheek products in this one. So that was a lot of my cheek products in a compact. And then these are the only two that didn't fit in there, but I'll probably fit those somewhere else. Okay, very nice, very nice. All right, then I think in this one we can do my powders and then any other compact shaped things. Okay. All right, then we still have this big one and this one. So this one is meant for brushes. I'm gonna put my brushes, I think they're all just gonna go in like one big makeup pouch, so I can use this for other stuff. Setting spray I probably will put in a Ziploc bag for transport just in case it leaks. But right now I'm just seeing what fits. Thinking this one is gonna be good for base products. This too I'll probably wrap in something since it's glass. Oh yeah, guys, we're gonna have room to spare. This is fantastic. Okay. I was a little worried that I kept too much, but no, we're good. Also toss my concealers in there. I mean, I think I could actually fit, you know what I was just saying? I think I could actually fit everything else in this one. Let's see. Okay, never mind. Scratch what I just said about brushes because this fit basically everything that didn't go in the previous compartments. So I was able to put all my complexion stuff and then lippies, eyeliners, that kind of thing. So, guys, I can't believe this. I'm actually shocked. I thought I was going to have to declutter more. I have to tell you guys, I did declutter my brushes. I didn't film it. I'm sorry. It was a very rapid fire. Like, while I was cleaning them, I was also decluttering them, so it was just not glamorous to film in any way. But these are the ones I'm keeping, which all my brushes used to fill this entire organizer, and now they fit in basically just 3 of the compartments. So I really narrowed down my brush collection a lot. I was just sick of owning so many brushes. I told myself that it was good to own a lot of brushes because then I didn't have to wash them as much, but honestly then washing them became such a daunting task that I didn't ever want to wash them. So now that I have fewer, I think I'll be more willing to just wash them more often, because it won't take 3 hours to do all of them. Anyway, so I think I'll be able to fit them all. I should be able to actually fit all of them in here. So those are all the face brushes I kept. You can see it's mostly BK Beauty. I also really narrowed down my eye brush collection. I got rid of quite a few crease brushes, which was very hard. I don't know why I get so attached to crease brushes, but I just love having so many of them. But I had to narrow it down. So yeah, this is all the eye brushes I'm keeping. and they all fit in there. Okay, and here's my entire collection. I cannot believe that my whole collection fit into these travel cases. I am just so happy with this. It feels like a fresh start, even though this is kind of a forced declutter because I have to be able to fit everything in a suitcase. I really would like to try and keep my collection around this size. This feels so much more comfortable to me than what I had before. I just had way too much. I hope you guys enjoyed this declutter. I know it was a long one. Thank you so much for staying to the end. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you very soon in my next video. Bye!